Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio, and joining me, I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me is Jay Huseman.
Glad to be on again. I know Sal's traveling back as he got to be at Five Flags Speedway, and we'll talk about that for the ARCA East race here in a little bit, but get to review the rest of them. The Truck Series, some great racing at Homestead, Miami.
Yes, indeed. We got to see all three of the NASCAR's top three series racing this weekend. Plus, the bonus race was the ARCA East Series race at Five Flags Speedway, along with the ASA Stars National Tour was racing this weekend at Five Flags as well.
Well, and I don't know if Kyle, I mean, he obviously wasn't there at Five Flags, but he still might have had a shot at winning that one too.
Yeah, you never know. It was pretty cool to watch, I will say that. Okay, we're going to start off with we're going to go in the order in which the races were won. So we start off here with the NASCAR Truck Series race at Homestead Miami Speedway on Friday night. And I'm going to pull up my notes here for that. And Kyle Larson's goal was to win all three races, and he did pull off the win in the NASCAR Truck Series, Jay. Do you want to give some overall thoughts about the race before we get into the...
Well, it was kind of surprising. Again, I believe Kyle Larson's Truck Series stats of 15 races, and I think 5 of those wins, maybe a third of the ones he started. So it wasn't a guarantee, but Homestead Miami is a track he absolutely loves, falls into his wheelhouse or wall house, if you will, because he likes to run up on the wall. And that's what you really got to do to make speed at Homestead Miami. And he did that all weekend long. But here in the Truck Series, most certainly starting out the weekend, and I think Kyle said it first when he was doing the triples, but Kyle reiterated it. In order to win them all, you got to win the first one.
Absolutely. And I know in his post-race interview, he did say that he felt that the truck race was going to be his hardest race to win. And when he won that, it was a little bit of a relief for him going into the Xfinity and the Cup Series race. We'll talk more about those two races a little bit later, but focusing on the Truck Series race, he did not get that win without some issues. So he had a spin, I guess, in the final stage. He was able to recover from that spin and go on and win. He won the Baptist Health 200 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Homestead Miami Speedway Friday night. The win was his first of the season, the first at Homestead, and his fourth career Truck Series victory. Lane Riggs came in second and Corey Heim was third. Two very talented up-and-coming racers in the Truck Series. Heim dominated the race, but was plagued with power issues late in the running. He started the race from the pole. He won stages 1 and 2. He led a race-high 78 laps of the 134, and his truck first slowed just over 20 laps from the finish, which is disappointing. He was able to recover and reclaim the lead with 11 to go. And with just 4 laps remaining, Heim's engine cut one more time, and he fell to third as Riggs and Larson drove by. Larson claimed the lead from Riggs the following lap. Larson led 20 laps on the night and recovered from a spin on lap 90 while battling Riggs for that second spot. The remainder of the finishers here were Tyler Ankrum and Daniel Hemrick to round out the top 5. Ross Chastain, Jake Garcia, Chandler Smith, Grant Infinger, and Caden Honeycutt round out the rest of the top 10. There were 13 lead changes among 4 drivers and 4 cautions for 22 yellow flag laps, and the average speed of the race was 117.068 miles per hour. And let's see, the highest finishing rookie was actually Connor Mosack He was in 19th and was the highest finishing rookie of the race. And I guess that's all I have here for now. Okay, yeah. What are your thoughts about the top 10, Jay?
Well, I want to throw in there too. The fast lap bonus went to the number 44, which was Ross Chastain, and that was on lap 97 as part of the
Okay, thank you. I
statistics
hadn't
there.
gotten to that page yet.
The one thing I'll say, I pride myself as an announcer. I watched this race, and I don't even know if I could do it justice in describing it. You mentioned it, and I don't remember what lap it was on, but it was in the latter part of stage 3. Kyle Larson drove a little deep, got a little aggressive, spun out, kept the truck, off of lane rigs, straightened it out, and didn't damage anything, but had to go to the back. Came back up to battle up to the front in those final laps. And then you mentioned it, 20 to go, Corey Haim's truck, who did dominate the race. There was a little competition there, but I think Corey Haim pretty much had him covered, leading 6 times for 78 laps. But his truck, the power would cut off. He dropped back to 3rd or 4th, refired it, cycled it, whatever they said he'd go through in the system, and reset it and drove back up. And again, you said a lap 11 or 11 laps to go, retook the lead. And at this point, Kyle Larson was still trying to catch up just to be in that mix. Trying to think who it was. Lane Riggs and I think Ross Chastain were the ones that he was battling at that point. When it happened again with about 5 laps to go, that's when then Kyle Larson got by him, as well as took the lead from Lane Riggs. Haim got it, fired up again, and still recovered and held on to 3rd. I mean, just unbelievable. We're talking about Larson winning the race, coming back from that spin in 30-some laps. Unbelievable. Yes. Corey Haim, though, being able to recycle that truck and nurse it home to get a top 3 and really still be in contention and battling, that in a story in itself was unbelievable. Yeah, yes. That was amazing.
Yeah, there were a lot of Kyle Larson's spin was an amazing save by an amazing driver. He didn't hit anything. He spun. He was able to get back in line. But like you said, he had to start at the back end and race his way back through the field. It just really was amazing. Any other thoughts on any of the other drivers, Jay?
Yeah, there is some good finishes there. You had Tyler Ankrum finishing 4th, as well as Daniel Hamrick moved up there towards the end, finishing in the 5th spot. You had a couple of other drivers from other series. Ross Chastain I mentioned in there, as well as Brandon Jones, who ended up, 12th. So it was a pretty stacked field when it comes to the truck series, and we know that the truck series by itself has some great, as you call them, up-and-coming drivers. Corey Haim obviously leading that pack. But then you got Jake Garcia, I'm still waiting to see him kind of flip that switch like we saw from Lane Riggs last year.
Yes.
He's around 10th to 5th, hanging there, but not quite up there fighting up front yet. Chandler Smith, that's who I said to watch for the year. Again, kind of a slow start, but right in the mix, as well as Grant Enfinger. And then Ty Majeski, he was another one that was up near the front, didn't lead any laps, but ended up in the 11th spot. I think you're talking about some of your championship 4 contenders. Ty Majeski, again, last year's defending champion.
Corey Day, who is debuting with Hendrick Motorsports, he ended up with a top 15 finish. He was 15th. So that was a good finish for him, too, I thought, for somebody who isn't normally in there. Now, this was not Gio Ruggerio's track, was it?
No, unfortunately not. The other one I wanted to give a big shout out to that, and I don't recall what happened to him at the end, but Stuart Friesen had been in the top 5 mix most of the day. He ended up with 16th place finish, and I'm trying to think back now of what got him shuffled back. But he had a truck, and he is having a very good start to the 2025 season.
Yes. Now, there were a couple of issues with the drivers. Most everybody finished the race. There were 25? Yeah, 25 drivers finishing on the lead lap. And the rest of those drivers, only 2 drivers were out of the race. Stephen Maluzzi, he's in a Ford, had a vibration issue that ended up taking him out of the race on lap 15. And on lap 83, Ben Rhodes, who's normally very good at Homestead, Miami, had a suspension issue that took him out on that lap 83. So only two big issues for those two drivers.
And I know you mentioned the highest finishing rookie being Connor Mozak in 19th. Corey Day finished 15th, but technically isn't a rookie because I guess he's points-wise is going to be in the Xfinity Series or hasn't declared for rookie in any of the seasons. I'm not even sure on that. But first start for him there in the Truck Series. Didn't get listed as a rookie. But you look at the rest of the rookies, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, and 29th. Yeah,
not this track is.
Exactly. That's where I was going. I was like, this is not a track for the light of heart or the rookies, as they kind of took a pounding there at Homestead, Miami.
Well, and I kept hearing the track was pretty slippery, which made it a lot harder, I think, for some of those drivers as well.
And that's the funny thing. They were talking about that, especially on restarts. I know that came more into play in the Xfinity Series, but even with the trucks here, of being that everybody wants to run up against the wall, that's where they've used up all the grip, the newer asphalt down there on the bottom. So there were some that were trying down there. And again, the momentum and speed off the corners along that wall is just too much. I mean, you really had to have a good car and a good truck in this case, and a good corner and get up and slide up in front of somebody to stop that momentum. And as you know, we've seen that can be a dangerous move, a slide job like that.
Yes, indeed. Okay, Jay, do you want to cover the points report for the Truck Series?
All right, I hope that's right. Yep. Okay. Corey Heim is still your points leader at 177 points. Ty Majeski now 8 points back. Chandler Smith, 27 points back. And that just tells you how good these top two have been running. Chandler Smith having a solid season already, but is 27 points deep. Corey Heim having 2 race wins, has picked up 2 stage wins as well, already has 12 playoff points. Looking down the list, everybody else only has 1 apiece. So Corey Heim being like Pac-Man and gobbling up those playoff points.
And it's going to pay off for those drivers.
Oh, no doubt. And if there's anybody you don't want to have give extra points to, that'd be Corey Heim. We know how strong he can be, especially going into the playoffs.
That's so
but then
true.
Fourth on, you got Grant Infinger, Stuart Friesen, as I mentioned, a very solid start to the 2025 season in 5th. Tyler Ankrum, Daniel Hemrick, Lane Riggs, Jake Garcia, and Caden Honeycutt round out your top 10. Honeycutt in 10th at 101 points. 2 points back, you got Ben Rhodes. You mentioned that, normally a very top front runner, not the strongest start. And then Tanner Gray, and your first rookie is Giovanni Ruggiero, and he is at 94 points back. So 7 points from the cut line at this point. And there's several down there, though. Raja Karuth, he is a previous winner in the 18th spot at 68 points. Again, not quite the strong start. Yeah. So we'll have to see. And then the rookies there in the Truck Series all kind of clumped together for the most part. Aside from Giovanni Ruggiero, you got Andres Perez de la Lara in 19th, Frankie Munoz in 20th, Dawson Sutton 21st, and Connor Mozak in 22nd. So
25th.
Yeah, no, she was even further down. Yeah, she wasn't right with that. Oh, I'm sorry, she was behind Luke Fenhouse. So the rookie battle amongst itself is interesting, but you can see they're not quite up there with the contending for a playoff spot. Now, Gio Ruggiero, we saw him have the speed at the super speedway. That could come into play down the road through the rest of the season, because it only takes one race, one win to get you in.
Exactly right. And we'll see what happens there. Okay. Any other information that you want to make sure that we share with everybody? Because you did a good job of covering the playoff points and where that is. There are some tight battles in there, especially at that bubble area, just below the cut line.
Well, I don't know if you've heard this, and I don't know if you want to wait until we do the interview, but there is a connection there if you haven't heard it.
Yes, I have heard it. Yes, and I'm still waiting to hear exactly when our reschedule is going to happen with Patrick Starapoli. I still haven't heard back from him. I'm sure he's working, and I'll hear back from him when he gets off work. But Patrick Starapoli had an announcement today, and he is going to be racing in the Craftsman Truck Series this Friday for Cook Racing Technologies, and he signed on for some races in both the Craftsman Truck Series as well as the Arkham Menard Series with Cook Racing Technologies. So I was kind of hoping we could get him on tonight and talk about that and maybe get some of the details there. But that was really good news that I heard. I know how hard he's worked for that. And all the while he's working toward a racing career, he's also building his career as a retinal surgeon. And gosh, just doing one of those things is difficult, let alone trying to do both at the same time.
You got that. You got that right. We thought it was impressive of how Frankie Munoz was going to try and work around his Hollywood career as well as full-time racing, being a doctor even more so. So can't wait. I know we got some options as to when Dr. Starapoli will be on. Hopefully I can do that interview with you and get to talk to him either tonight, tomorrow, or Thursday. I think were the options. But again, kind of playing his schedule as well.
Thursday. Yes, I left it open for him to decide which one of those fit better into his schedule. So we'll wait and see. If you see me checking my email during the show here, that's what I'm looking for, to see if I have anything from Patrick Starapoli yet on when he can do that interview. So no word yet. He'll be driving the number 84. His number is usually 97. So I thought it was interesting that he's going to be in the 84 truck this week.
Well, and the one thing I get excited about that, of Martinsville being a short track, again, that kind of falls right in his alley, as that's the background he's come from. So really looking forward to that. I know this is Cook Technologies' first race of 2025, but we've seen them make starts in the past, picking up drivers wherever they can. I think that's going to be a good fit, and I think Martinsville is a good track for Dr. Starapoli. So that'll be interesting to see him next Friday night for sure.
Well, we've already seen him at Phoenix. Now we're going to get to see him at Martinsville. I know the 5 races for Venturini. The next race is going to be Talladega. That's going to be a super speedway. So it's going to be fun to see what happens with Patrick all throughout this season for sure.
Certainly is. Can't wait to talk to him.
Okay. Well, be sure to watch for more coming, because we have some more reviews to do here tonight, including the truck series is this one. We've got the Xfinity series next. Then we'll do the ARCA East and then the Cup series. So 4 reviews here tonight on Pampa Racing Radio. So we hope you'll stay tuned for all of those. And I hope we're getting them done early enough to get them all posted here tonight. But we have a full schedule, because if Patrick comes on, we've got that before we do our live stream for the Hot Topics Sound Off segment tonight. Chris Crichton is coming back to be on Hot Topics with us, and definitely looking forward to catching up with some hot topics with both Jay and Chris tonight at 9. That's
Can't wait for that.
Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for that as well. Great to have Chris come back on. I know you said you had talked to him about that. I'm excited for that. Brought, again, opposing opinion last week, but that's okay. That was great. Love to hear it.
Okay, so with that, we want to tell you thank you for watching. We do appreciate you taking time to hear what we have to say. But we're going to go ahead and end this recording and then get into our next review show for the Xfinity series coming up next.
Talk to you in a few.